How's it going, everybody? My name's Goldman, and today I'm going to show you how to make an automatic rune maker. And this is on Skyfactory 3. There's much better ways to do this on different mod packs, but you're kind of limited to what you got on Skyfactory 3, so that's why I'm showing you this tutorial today, how to do it on this mod pack. So let's jump in right here. Basically, I have refined storage set up with a crafting monitor, crafting grid, and a pattern grid, and a processing pattern encoder. So that's just the basic setup. I got a creative energy source to that, so I can power all this. Of course, if you're doing this legit, you're not going to have any of that. But anyways, let's jump right into this. So right here we have a crafter and we have a mechanical user, and I have two of these. In these mechanical users, this one is going to actually spew in all the items to the altar, and this one's actually going to click the altar with the wand, because if you know anything about Botania and the altar, that you have to right click it after you have all the material in your living stone on top of the altar to actually craft it. So once that is done, it gets sucked into this vacuum right here, and this is a importer. What it'll do is anything that's in this vacuum inventory, it'll get sucked into the importer and right back into the ME where you can see it in your interface. So let me just show you guys what's up. We'll do one rune, and it's going to start importing them all in, and I'll drop the living stone. And there we go. Get sucked back in, and there we go. We got another rune in there. Well, two runes because it makes two runes. But that's how you do it through the refined storage way. If you want to make a bunch of these, let's say you want to do make like 10, 20 of these. Unfortunately, you couldn't just go in here and say craft 40 of them because they don't have this thing called blocking mode in this version of refined storage on Skyfactory 3. So that means that you can't send an order, have one order in here, and then have it craft it, send it, and then it goes through, it receives it, then sends another order. Unfortunately, it doesn't have that in this version. So what you're limited to do is one order with this, because if you do it the other way, you're just going to send tons and tons of material into here, and it's never going to craft the item you actually want. So if you want to get around that without blocking mode, you can take an exporter here and just put it into a chest and say I wanted this rune of water. I would put it in here, and I'd have the crafting chip in here from refined storage. And what that'll do is it'll start auto crafting the rune for me, the rune that I actually put in here. So it'll do one at a time, well, one order at a time, because it makes two per order. But that way you can you can walk away and it'll make all the runes you need, and you don't have to keep on ordering one by one by one. But like I said, if you're on a newer version of refined storage, when you make the actual recipe for the rune of water, you'll see a little check mark down here for blocking mode. Go ahead and check that, and you don't actually have to do this part of it at all. You can just say I want 64 of them, and it'll make 64 of them as long as you have that enabled. So as far as like creating the recipe for this, all you do is you go into a processing pattern encoder. You put in the recipe. Um, a thing to note though is, like, let's say you didn't have anything in here. If you click on the rune and then you hit the plus symbol on there, it'll actually put it in there without having any of the items. So it's a little helpful tip. But it will put the Runic Alter in there. You don't need that. Just go ahead and replace it with one living stone and then craft your pattern. So once you have your pattern, go into your crafter that is next to the mechanical user and just drop it in there like I have this one, and it's good to go. Basically, like, you just go in here, you'll see it, it'll be able to be crafted and sent through. So that I mean, you're gonna need to know a little bit of refined storage 101, I guess, but it's pretty easy to learn. Let's go ahead and take this out. Oops, this out. So yeah, like if you wanted to stop making these runics or these runes, you just take out the rune that you don't want. Now, do keep in mind you're obviously gonna need the rune auto crafted in your crafter here, the crafting recipe pattern in there for it to actually know what rune it wants. But All you gotta do is have all the stuff you need in there to craft it. So as far as the mechanical users go, I set this one to activate block within item, right click, and random slot. That works fine, putting all the items in there. As far as the wand one goes, you put use item on block because you don't want to put it in there. You just want to use it, so it clicks it. Right click and upper left slot only, so it only clicks with this slot. So that's pretty much it. I guess one other thing to note is the vacuum chest here. I put an item filter in here with living rock because it gets dropped on top of the altar. You don't want that to get sucked up yet. You only want the rune to get sucked up. So what you do is you just put a basic item filter in there, living stone, and you want to change that to blacklist. That way it'll never suck in any kind of living stone, so you don't got to worry about that. But other than that, you're pretty good to go. I mean, obviously you need, mana to go to your altar to actually make the rune. But other than that, you guys are good to go. So, you guys have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah.